Good evening. We're back with Mortimer and Me by Kathie McMahon, illustrated by Tom Tate. Tonight we're going to be reading Chapter 4, Trouble at Recess. Recess! Kids zoom by me on the way to the playground. I trail behind, happy that half the morning is over. I usually love recess, but being the new kid isn't much fun. I study the playground and see the usual stuff. Swings for the younger kids, basketball courts for the older ones. I just stand there and try to figure out where to go when I see him. I blink a couple of times to make sure I'm not just imagining it. Right there on the playground is Mortimer, standing at one end of a long jump rope, twirling it with his teeth. Everyone acts as if he belongs there, like nothing's unusual about a moose playing jump rope. Hopping in the middle, surrounded by all her new friends, is Lily. I really hope she doesn't see me. But that's the exact moment she looks up and waves. Lily rushes over to me. "Did you see him?" she says, jumping up and down like a bouncing ball. "Who?" I act as if I have no idea who she's talking about. "Mortimer, of course, you doofus!" Lily points at the moose, who is still rotating the rope like it's something he does every day. Just then, Bradley walks up holding the basketball. "Hey, you're the girl whose picture was in the paper with Mortimer." Bradley stares at me. "Do you know her?" "He's my big brother." Lily gives me a big hug and skips off to join her friends. So much for keeping that a secret. Bradley spins the ball on his index finger. "Want to come play basketball with us? You can be on my team." Am I actually being invited to be in a game? I really stink at basketball, but this is a fresh start, right? Sure. I try to act cool and not sound too excited. The rest of the boys are already on the court, ready to play. Bradley walks up to them and announces, "This is Jimmy. He's on my team." I try my best to keep up as point after point is scored. As long as no one throws me the ball, I should be okay. It's all good until Bradley's friend Kevin bats away a rebound and the ball lands right in my hands. Not knowing what to do, I just stand there. Kevin sprints down the court calling out, "Here, throw it here!" I heave the ball as hard as I can, straight into the arms of Justin, who's on the other team. He dribbles down the court and scores a basket. "You idiot," Kevin yells at me. "I was wide open. Can't you even throw a stupid ball?" I can't even explain what happens next. Something inside me just explodes. I pick up the basketball and throw it with strength I didn't even know I have, right at Kevin's head. It smacks him hard right on the nose. Everyone stands frozen, silent, except for Kevin, who starts screaming as blood gushes from his nose. Mrs. Erickson runs over and sends him to the nurse. Then she marches toward me. "I didn't mean to hurt him," I try to explain. "The ball just slipped out of my hands." Mrs. Erickson frowns just like my last principal used to. "James, we don't treat people like that here. You will spend the rest of recess on the wall." She points over to the far end of the playground where the rest of the naughty kids are spread out, sitting down and facing the wall of the school building. I drag my feet toward the wall with my head down and sit cross-legged, putting my head in my hands. Nothing ever changes for me, nothing. I might as well wear a sign that says "loser." As I sit there feeling sorry for myself, something nudges me in the back. I glance up to find Mortimer staring me in the face. I almost jump out of my pants. He appears even bigger up close. His eyes are the size of Oreos, and his giant hooves look like the trunks of trees. "What are you doing here? Do you want to yell at me too?" My eyes squeeze shut to keep back the tears. No one is going to see me cry at this stupid school. Mortimer gazes at me with his huge brown eyes and rests his chin on my shoulder. His moist nose tickles the back of my neck. He doesn't move from that spot until the bell rings. Miss Pierce walks over to me as the class lines up. I figure I'll get a scolding from her too, but all she does is put her arm around my shoulder and say, "Well, Jimmy, we haven't gotten off to a very good start today, have we?" Mortimer lumbers off toward the woods and peeks over his shoulder at me as if he's making sure I'm okay. I heave a big sigh and join the rest of the class in line. Kevin glares at me over the ice bag he holds on his nose, and Bradley turns his head in disgust. I can see that Dunstan Elementary isn't going to be any different than my last school. Well, that's it for tonight. We'll be back with Chapter 5, A New Friend. Good to see you. Have a good evening.